Join my army of the dead.
Hello and welcome to a brand new build guide video. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my Shadow Step Poison Blades Rogue that I used to get to World Tier 4 at level 59. Let's get into it. Starting out, we take Fundamental Puncture. We want hitting an enemy with at least 2 blades makes them vulnerable for 2 seconds. Then we come down and we put 5 points into our Twisting Blades, and we want the passive Improved Twisting Blades. Enemies are dazed while impaled with Twisting Blades. We will take the passive Sturdy as well as Siphoning Strikes. Coming down, then we take our Shadow Step and we want Methodical Shadow Step for another stun. We take the passive Weapon Mastery as well as 1 point into Concussive and 1 point into Trick Attacks. Coming down now, we then take Agile as well as Concealment, but specifically Subverting Stealth. Skills that break concealment always make enemies vulnerable for 6 seconds. This combined with Twisting Blades allows us to make pretty much every monster around us vulnerable. Coming down now, we get Poison Trap. I like Subverting Poison Trap because we have so much stuns in our build. We can get this passive on the monsters. You deal 10% increased poison damage to enemies standing inside your trap. We're just stun locking them in our trap. Then we get our passives Exploit and Malice, both great damage passives there. Then we got our next skill, our Poison Imbuement now. I take Blended Poison Imbuement. If you do not have a lot of crit chance on your build, you want to take Mixed Poison Imbuement. This is definitely better than this if you don't have crit. Our poison passives, we want Deadly Venom, Debilitating Toxins. I don't take Chemical Advantage. I don't think this is worth it in a 1v1 situation. For killing monsters, it may be worth it, but I like the other passives we have. We take Precision Imbuement for added crit chance on our imbuement skills. Goes hand in hand with this nicely. Coming down, we want to get our Haste passive. This helps us get our energy back and gives us movement speed when we're not fighting. Our key passive now, we will be taking Victimize, and you'll see why when we get to our gear. Coming to our gear now, starting out with our helmet, we have Explosions from Victimize. Key passive, heal you for 94 life for each enemy damage, up to a maximum of 582 life. Coming back to our Twisting Blades, making enemies vulnerable around us. This combined with this passive allows us to sit in the most terrifying stuff and survive it. Our chest piece now, we have the aspect. You gain 0.5% increased armor for 4 seconds when you deal any form of damage. We're doing so many forms of damage. This skyrockets immediately, goes to full 30%. This is something I will be saving for my endgame build because it's a perfect roll. And most likely this will end up in the amulet slot to get the most out of the passive. Our gloves now, I am using basic skills, gain 30% increased attack speed. Again, this is another one I will be saving for the end game, the aspect that is, combined with the new aspect for the poison imbue on puncture. Those two items can clear mobs by themselves. Coming down now to our pants, we take the aspect basic skills, grant 20% damage reduction for 4 seconds. This is good because a lot of the damage reduction got nerfed. This is just a flat 20%. You really can't beat it, and we're always using our basic attack. Our boots, we are using the aspect Shadow Step has an additional charge. Killing an enemy with Shadow Step refunds the charge and increases the damage of Shadow Step by 2%. Really, I just want the extra charge. The rest is just an added bonus. Coming down to our weapon now, we are using the aspect every third cast of puncture is poison imbued with 280% of normal potency. This combined with our aspect on our gloves allows us to kill monsters relatively easy just with our basic attack. Our next weapon now, I'm using the aspect. Attacking enemies with basic skills increases your next core skill up to 10%. This is a perfect rolled one. 3 attacks, goes well with our combo, and we're always getting off the most amount of damage we possibly can. As for this slot, I cleared World Tier 4 without the aspect that I wanted for this spot. Unfortunately, I couldn't find it before I felt I was strong enough to do the World Tier 4. But in this slot, I will be using the aspect that when attacking with poison imbuement, it drops a pool of poison that reduces the cooldown of your poison imbuement and gives you unlimited charges. That's what will be going in here. Onto our rings now. When you evade or shadow step, you leave behind a cluster of exploding stun grenades that deal 170 total damage and stun enemies for half a second. This adds another stun to our arsenal. We now have 3 additional stuns with just this aspect in itself. This allows us to stay alive because when the enemies are stunned, we're not taking damage. On our other ring slot now, this is where I have the twisting blades aspect. This will be following me because it is a perfect roll into the late game. As well as, I'm not sure if I like this at my two-handed slot or if I like this at my two-handed slot. So I'm still experimenting there. Coming back to our necklace, your imbuement skills effects have 33% increased potency. Like I said, I will most likely swap this with our armor, just because I feel like even though this is nerfed, it's still one of the best armor increases we can get when fighting. Onto our specialization, we are using combo points because of a lot of our abilities are in 3s, our aspects, our poison imbuement. This goes really well with our build. Coming to our Paragon board now, we come up the right side and grab our prime node for the 20% increased damage. I then unlocked our glyph socket. In our glyph socket, we are using tracker for the poisoning effects last 33% longer. I immediately filled this out as fast as possible because I wanted 33% longer effects. Came up the left side and got our 20% damage increase with our skillful node here. But before going on to our next board, I went and got our lawless for the 200 armor. It's really important now that everything has been drastically nerfed. Our first board we are taking is the exploit board. I have it turned this way specifically because I wanted to get the unassailable node first. You get 100 armor plus 4% damage reduction, which eventually will be 8% damage reduction from vulnerable enemies. This will give you much more and much needed survivability in the capstone dungeon. After that, I started making my way over towards the vulnerable damage and the damage to injured enemies through the rare node exploit. After that, I then will be going and getting our exploit weakness, as well as our other hunter killer node and our other vulnerable node here. Then getting our glyph socket and moving on to our next board. But that is where we're at right now. I just wanted to share with you a build that you can get to World Tier 4 as fast as possible. I did it at level 59, right around 58. And you've seen my gear. I'm not even using all the aspects that I can possibly use. If I had the other aspect, it would have went by even faster. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a like and think about subscribing. I post Diablo content every 2 days, and I'll see you on the next video.